Hey folks, welcome to the Kubernetes SIG Docs community meeting. Today is August 19th, 2025. I'm your host today. My name is Ray Lojano. I'm one of the co-chairs along with Divya Mohan, Natalie Vlatko, and a few minor boilerplate items before we continue. This meeting abides by the CCF Code of Conduct, which boils down to be kind to each other. And this meeting is also being recorded and uploaded to YouTube. And so usually the first thing we like to do when we kick off a meeting is we like to welcome new contributors. So if you are new to Kubernetes SIG Docs, or new to this meeting, or haven't joined in a while, please feel free to come off mute and introduce yourself. All right. Welcome, everyone. So let's continue on to updates and reminders. So we do have several name roles or several roles within the SIGDocs community. One is the PR Wrangler. The PR Wrangler is a SIGDocs approver, and we take turns every week, and the PR approver becomes a PR Wrangler for the week, and that person reviews pull requests. And so this week's PR Wrangler is Divya, and Divya has a shadow, GitHub a handle, Milan Death 15 shadowing. Next week's PR Wrangler is Depeche Rawat with Steve Hardman shadowing. And the following week's PR Wrangler is Nate Waddington. And if you are, there's a link to the PR Wrangler shift as well. So if you're an approver, please check the calendar for your rotation. And if you're interested in becoming a PR Wrangler, a shadow is someone who learns how approvers review pull requests. Feel free to reach out to myself or to one of the other co-chairs. We also have an issue wrangler. An issue wrangler is someone who wrangles issues, who triages issues, reviews them. And this week's issue wrangler is Michael Yao, also known as Winston C on GitHub. And next week's issue wrangler is Drew Hagen. And a few other last updates, reminders. If you are interested in getting the calendar invites and edit access to the agenda, all you have to do is join the SIGDocs Google group, and there's a link to in the agenda as well. Lastly, if you notice any code of conduct violations in Slack, on GitHub comments, or in Zoom meetings, or please reach out to the Kubernetes Code of Conduct Committee. You could use anonymously at conduct@kubernetes.io. So let's move on to the agenda. Let's talk about release 1.34. And is anyone from the release docs team here to provide updates?
Yes, so for docs, our main status is yellow. We're a bit behind, but we were able to get RC0 merged. So today we're working on RC1, and hopefully we can get that done and get on RC2 before the end of the week.
Great, thanks, Rashan. I think also thanks for giving a status that, this close to the release. Sometimes people might think yellow is a bit scary, but I agree. Yellow is okay, and you folks are working on it. So thank you for giving that status.
I just have a reminder that we typically freeze the Kubernetes/websites repository the day before the release day, and to send out comms about the K website freeze as well. And I am available next week to help out with the freezing the repo and also on release day as well. All right. Let me know if you have any comments or questions from the docs release team. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to myself about scheduling or who the contact will be for next week's release day activities. All right, there's no other comments or questions for the docs team. Is anyone from the comms release team available to provide an update?
Yes, I am. I'll go through the status. So our current status is green. We have 7 out of 19 feature blogs already merged. We also have a suggested publication order for the ones that are already merged that is present in the board linked in the status. We'll still have 12 out of 19 with review in progress. We see the reviews progressing, and the 6 were pinged for technical reviews yesterday. And also, Tim gave us a heads up that one of the feature blogs that we are tracking will be going out before the release. So we will probably adjust the board. As far as the release announcement, it is ready to review. All sections are there except for logo, theme, and the webinar link. So please take a look. Let us know if you have any comments from your side. We would like to merge this this week, and then we will open a follow-up pull request, probably with the logo, theme, and webinar link. As well as removing the draft state and all of that. And lastly, for webinar and press is already scheduled, and webinar, I am waiting for confirmation on the date. It is booked for September 24th. That's all from my side. If you have any questions, please.
Yeah. Thank you. So could you, what was the point about, sorry, and I heard your name mentioned, Tim, you want a feature blog published not in the post-release comms? I'm confused.
I think either the author or maybe release comms has sort of signaled something. This is a blog about a Kubernetes feature, therefore it's post-release comms. Whereas that's not true. You can blog about this. In this case, it's swap. You can blog about swap in Kubernetes without it being tied to the release. And so it's an article about swap in Kubernetes, and swap is graduating to stable. But I think those two things are separate facts.
Okay. Well, I agree with you. I want to make sure that release comms also feels like they have a bit of like autonomy here with some decision making rather than flatly going with something as well. I think because this has happened once before, and I just want to make sure that we get maybe those kinds of considerations actually written down somewhere rather than so-and-so says this, so we should do that. I think, and I get it, the idea of like it's graduating to stable, so we think it's possibly part of the release when maybe it's not, unless there's something very like miraculously different in the blog, or maybe they haven't actually been part of any release comms at all for blogs, and that's why it's happening now. I just want to make sure that it's not your decision, and that's why the release comms folks are going with it, if that makes sense.
So the reason we are tracking it is that they answered to our feature blog opt-in outreach with the link of this pull request. But the truth is, I checked the content today, and it doesn't reference the 134 release. So maybe it's not a post-release. They didn't meant it to be a post-release communication. So we're okay. It can go out. But yeah, I had some questions regarding who is going to take care of publication, because it is, if it goes out before the release, it's no longer part of our schedule.
So there's no announcement of swap going to stable in the blog post?
I will probably add at least a little note to say we expect it to graduate. The set of enhancements in the release is much less fixed, considering we're a week out than usual, due to unrelated shenanigans. Swap is very likely to graduate. There's no shenanigans around swap, but it could miss, graduation.
If you're referring to DRA, there is currently no shenanigans that is being pushed through, as far as I'm aware.
DRA and one other.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But yes, much shenanigans of the day. Anyway,
okay.
Comms,
so I think, sorry, after you, Tim.
Release comms. This usually happens, I would say. teams want to blog about something, and we you know, Kubernetes project ask people if they've got any blogs in the pipeline, and they say yes, and then they don't always talk about the release. Now, there's two ways to handle this. One of them is to say, okay, you've written this, but you have to, you know, mention that it's just graduated. That is an important thing. You can go that way, or you can say, oh, actually, do you want to publish this like a few weeks later or a few weeks earlier? It's good to spot that mismatch nice and early, so that we can. Doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't really matter which way to fix it, but I think it's I don't know, it's an opportunity for release comms to do even better, and signal to the SIG earlier, hey, did you actually want this as post-release comms? Because they might have just felt like they were obliged to, and I think that feeling that they're obliged to does happen quite a bit.
Right, yeah, got it. I will take a look at the blogs we are tracking, make sure they are truly post-release blogs.
Oh no,
And
sorry. I think you think I've given you more work, and I didn't mean it to land like that. What I meant was, this is more a retro item.
Yeah. But also I identify another item for the retro, because I do think that our opt-in outreach could have better links to documentation. Like, we do have a documentation page for post-release communications that is not linked in the outreach that we do. So yeah, on that page as well could be updated. So yeah, many retro items.
Yeah, I think another good idea also is being with some of the outreach too, um, being very proactive in calling out if your feature, if there is a change in your feature in its graduation state, or something that you want to actually specifically highlight in the feature blog kind of schedule, like that's why it should be there. Call that out, kind of thing, and then all of us that gets them thinking, like, should this blog be in this specific bucket of information that's going out, or we can publish it whenever, for example, with the swap thing. So maybe even just some different calls to action of like getting those SIGs to think about that question, so that it doesn't feel
Right.
like it's all on you for checking on the release com side. I'm also happy to help you like try and write some of that as well in like, and some of the if you're using any templates for reaching out to SIGs as well, Augustina, happy to help with that.
Yeah, those are part of the comms handbook. But yeah,
Great.
thank you. I will take a look and reach out if I need anything.
Awesome, thanks.
All right. Any other comments or questions for comms or Augustina? All right,
Yeah,
let's
I
move on.
want to go on the record.
Oh, go ahead, Tim.
Every release, I think it gets better. Okay. This release has been really nice for the blog team. Well, for my participation in the blog team, I felt like I'm part of, like, I felt like there's support. I felt like we're doing pretty well. Like, we got 12 to review, but like, you know, we're doing pretty well, and we're doing better than we ever have before, honestly. And I want to highlight that, like, it might feel like it hasn't all gone right, but honestly, it's gone more right than ever before in my experience, and I think more right than ever before in the project's experience. And that process of getting, you know, incrementally better is worth celebrating, as I saw Natalie do the emojis. So, you know, well done, folks. You are making it better, and you are building on the work of others, and that is what we want.
Yeah, I've noticed also on the docs side as well. I noticed there was a shift in dates to be earlier, like for the docs deadline. It's typically a week before the release, but this time we had several weeks before, and I actually personally like that, because it gave us some time to, um, in case we didn't have any PRs that really that went over the deadline. But I felt like having those dates is for more farther away, put less stress on me and maybe other reviewers as well. But as a reviewer, I thought that it was less stressful to get things reviewed properly, and give it with giving it amount of proper time to actually review it and with high quality. So I felt like the pushing those dates a little further back in a few weeks before the actual release actually took out some stress.
Yeah, big agree. If either of you folks aren't planning to, I'm happy to do it on your behalf, but I'm going to reflect those positive comments in the retro for the release team to read and do too.
All right. So any last comments or questions for the release team? All right, issues and PRs. We don't have any issues and PRs linked or added to the agenda, but we'd like to open up the floor if anyone wants to bring up an issue or PR that they want to discuss.
Oh, hey, I have one.
Good.
Which I wasn't prepared to think of it, but now you made me think of one. It's the let me just do a little bit of quick Googling. Sorry, folks, for making you all wait while I type. What this PR does is it improves the localization process. It is PR 51927. Add fallback to default language for code sample shortcode from UNDMS. I think that's how you'd say it. And it's great. This is a really, it arose out of a discussion, and then the localization team said, why don't you file an issue? And it became an issue, and then it became a PR. And the idea is, if you're a localization and your localized version of a code sample file would be the same as English, you'll be able to delete it, and then you'll use the English one. But if you want to change it because the comments should be different, you'll be able to override it. And so it's less work for a new localization. Hello, Persian. It's less work to maintain things, but you still have the flexibility of localizing things if you need them to. And I'm, one, super happy with it. And two, I LGTM'd it. I'd like to get it approved.
What was the PR number again? I think I mistyped it.
51927. Thank you, Depeche.
51927. All right, I'll take a look at it after this call. All right, any comments, questions, or any other issues or PRs that folks wanted to bring to this meeting?
Hi, guys. I'm Mohammad Amin from Persian localization team. We are new, and my teammate Mohammad is also here. And I want to talk about one of our issues in our progress. That is when we translate pages into Persian, and after reviewing our pull request, after that we have to, for example, mention Seoku or Abby. They are localization sub-project lead, as I know. And after that, because they don't have any access to approve our pull request, they must ask another leads. As I know, Natalie one time approved my pull request, yeah. And I just want to say, if Seoku and Abby have the approved access, and they would be good if I think they should be granted to have approval access for localization. This is a suggestion. Just want to say sorry about my lack of knowledge in my speaking, but I'm trying to do it better in future. And justice. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, your speaking is great. So yeah, please do not be sorry. We understand everything. And I think some context here is always really good. So part of the reason that for initializing a localization that Syoko and Abby don't have complete approval process to do that is so that we can make sure across SIG leadership that we know when new localizations are also spinning up and happening too. Because quite often we can sometimes miss conversations in Slack, but very often we are not missing PRs that are coming through with new localizations coming in, and when we are tagged to need to give approval and so on. What I can tell you is that once a localization is generally done, what we like to do is make sure we hand over approval process to the team of the localization themselves. So once the minimum requirement is done and the localization is launched, then actually you and your team, Mohammed, will have all the LGTM and approval rights to then continue working in your group for sure. So there is some method of why we have some of that block of the approval permissions. However, if I am being too slow or Ray is being too slow in helping with some of these approvals, please let us know. Us as leads are going to discuss, and we've mentioned this, that we need to discuss bringing Sioka and Abby into that approval process, but still making sure we have knowledge of localizations coming in. Maybe there's a way we can solve for this. But just to give you the context of why that approval process exists like it does, it's so that we know when new localizations and new languages are going to be spinning up and officially launched in Kubernetes.
Thank you. And I want to say thanks to Tim because he's very kind to our team and help us to improve our localization and be more familiar with Kubernetes website culture, and of course technical part also done by Tim, and we are very committed to our work and translation in Persian localization, and give us feedback. We need feedback from you, and to improve our job, to improve our translation, and we are going to improve Kubernetes website as we can, and that's this. Thank you.
I wanted to say thank you again to Team and Sohu. We're really grateful for your efforts to help us progress this mission to localize Kubernetes websites in Persian, Farsi. Thank you.
And I think it's worth also thanking your team, the Persian team, for not only listening to a lot of the feedback from a lot of us in the SIGDocs leadership to help you, but being so committed in implementing that feedback, working in these increments. It can be very hard to launch a localization, to launch a new language, and so I think your dedication is really awesome, and thank you for being open to following the process that has worked for so many other localizations also before you, that we can kind of gather from and help you to launch Persian. I think to launch Farsi, sorry. I think this would be really great to also help publicize once the work is done. No pressure. It takes some time. Of course, we don't want to pressure you, but at the end of this, once Farsi is launched, we also want to help to promote it so that more folks can use the docs in the language that they prefer.
I'd like to add, yep, blog editor here. We would be delighted to have a blog about that, either by you or there is a team called Contributor Experience Comms who can interview you so you don't have more work. And we can connect you to that team and have you do an interview, and then they'll write the blog and it would go on the contributor blog. The journey that Persian folks have been on from hello, we're not quite sure what we're doing, to like really effective contributions, left to right language support has landed. The branch is looking good. The general sense of progress is very clear. I'm very impressed, and we'd love to, the blog would be delighted to talk about either the progress or the launch, whichever you want to talk about. We can make that happen.
We would be happy.
All right. And congrats and thank you both of you for the Persian localization team for your work. Any other comments or questions?
Do you have any question? I mean,
No, thank you. And have a good day.
have a good
you.
day.
All right. Any other issues or PRs that folks want to bring up for this meeting or on this meeting? All right, moving on to the last section of the agenda, questions and discussion points. Kat, who is on the call, there is an LFX program to update into fix the reference docs generation tool. And so mentee selection is underway, and we're doing interviews this week and plan to have a selection by Friday.
Yeah, I saw your reaction, Tim, so we can give you some context. Actually, Nate was the one to suggest that SIG docs can use the LFX mentorship program, which is something that the Linux Foundation and CNCF use to get folks interested in helping to contribute to projects in Cloud Native. Nate has suggested that perhaps we could get the reference docs generator possible refactor. Let's see what the program comes up with, but that is a project. And Nate, Ray, Xander, and Kat are all going to be mentors to help out with that.
All right. Any comments or questions or any other discussion topics that folks want to bring up? All right, I'm going to stop the recording here. So find the stop button. Thank you, folks who are watching on YouTube.